Like most modern cars, the Lexus IS XE2 has a weak paintwork. As a result, chips and scratches appear even from a slight mechanical impact. As for the corrosion resistance of the body, traces of corrosion on body parts are very rare, but now the bottom of the car after 5-7 years of operation begins to rust. Many owners solve this problem by additionally treating the bottom with anti-corrosive. The windshield is also not famous for its endurance. Chips and cracks quickly appear. Cars that are often operated outside the city are especially affected. When inspecting, check the glass markings. Most likely you will have a reason to bargain. Also, there are complaints about the quality of the plastic protection of the optics. It quickly becomes cloudy. You should not leave the car often standing under the sun, because the seals on the sunroof dries up and breaks due to overheating. The power units of this car have the technical glory of Toyota. Gasoline engines are quite reliable and hardy. Serious problems of this type of motors are very rare. Of the main disadvantages that are characteristic of gasoline engines, extraneous sounds can be noted when starting a cold engine. The source is the VVTi clutch. The reason for this disease lies in the design of the motor, namely in the discrepancy between the operation of the oil pump and the VVTi pulleys themselves at the time of starting the engine. It is for this reason that in 50% of cases the problem cannot be eliminated for a long time. Replacing the clutch will eliminate the problem for 5,000 kilometers. If this problem manifests itself only when starting an unheated power unit, then it does not have any negative consequences, but if the unpleasant sound does not disappear after warming up, the clutch needs to be replaced. From a standing VVTi valve timing system, extraneous noise appears, which is accompanied by the appearance of errors. This ailment is dangerous, because in advanced cases it can lead to a fatal meeting of the valves with pistons. Repair: replacement of the clutch, intermediate gear of the crankshaft, timing chain, as well as its hydraulic tensioner and damper. Often, every 70-90,000 kilometers, the water cooling pump also causes trouble. The cost of a new pump ranges from $80. Article pump 16100-39436. Another source of the cooling system is the frequent turning on of the fan during the cold season. To fix the problem, it is enough to thoroughly rinse the radiator cells. You will have to pay about $600-800 for spare parts and work. On cars of the first years of production until 2007, there may be problems with the high-pressure fuel pump, increased noise at idle. To eliminate the disease, the pump needs to be replaced. On cars with a mileage of more than 200,000 kilometers, the valve cover gasket needs to be replaced. On some cars aged 8-12 years, there is an increased oil consumption of 6-8 milliliters per 1,000 kilometer. On younger models, the consumption as a rule does not exist 200-300 milliliters per 1,000 kilometer. For GR series motors manufactured before 2012, the alternator overrunning clutch pulley often causes problems. Repair: pulley replacement. Article 27415-0W010. When inspecting the Lexus IS, pay attention to the tensioner and pulley V-belt rollers, extraneous sounds. These engines do not like short city trips, therefore it is periodically recommended to drive at high speeds. There are two versions of cars with diesel engines on the secondary market, the pre-styling IS 220D and the post-styling IS 200D. Officially, cars with such engines were not delivered to us, but if you are still looking for just such a car, it is better to give preference to the post-styling versions, since pre-styling engines are not particularly reliable, and this is well known even from Toyota units. The most common problem with both units is cocking of the EGR valve and exhaust manifold. When using low-quality fuel, the performance of the catalyst deteriorates and fuel injectors may also fail prematurely. For pre-styling engines, the main problem is the deformation of the cylinder walls, which entails burning the head gasket. The disease is accompanied by loss of coolant and blue smoke from the exhaust pipe. To fix the problem, you will have to pay about $1,000. Lexus IS was equipped with two types of gearboxes, 6-speed manual and 6 and 8-speed automatic. The latter was installed only on the charged version, IS F500. Automatic transmission with timely maintenance, 40-50,000 kilometers, and careful operation will not cause unnecessary trouble up to 200-250,000 kilometers. When choosing a car with automatic transmission, you need to be extremely careful and carry out a complete diagnosis of the unit. The fact is that most of the owners of this model are young people who do not always service the car on time while exploiting it mercilessly. Automatic transmission repairs can cost $15-20 $100. The weakest point in the automatic transmission is the valve body. Over time, output accumulates in the block body, as a result of which the solenoids wear out. An alarming bell about the incorrect operation of the valve body will be jerks and twitches when switching from the 4th to 6th gear. Replacing valve bodies and solenoids does not always help to get rid of jerks, since in the automatic transmission, in addition to the valve body, there are many other parts that can also wear out and work incorrectly. This is a donut, planetary, various sliding bushings, friction clutches, etc. Sometimes flashing the transmission control unit helps to get rid of jerking during acceleration. The mechanics are found only on diesel copies. If we talk about its reliability, then, as a rule, there are no problems with it. If the gearbox is not serviced in time, the bearings will fail prematurely. The clutch can last up to 150,000 kilometers. Most ISs are equipped with rear-wheel drive, but there are versions with permanent all-wheel drive in the arsenal of this model. Such a car, in addition to increased cross-country ability, has better stability on slippery roads. As for the reliability of this unit, no recurrent problems were identified. This model is equipped with an independent sport short-stroke suspension, McPherson strut front, multi-link rear. Despite the fact that the car has sporty features, its suspension is quite energy-intensive and copes well with bumps on the road, providing a high level of comfort for the driver and passengers. The chassis of the Lexus IS is quite reliable, only the stabilizer struts and bushings can be distinguished from the weak points, yes, and those serve for a relatively long time, up to 50,000 kilometers. Also, the CV joint anthers, which lose their elasticity after 40,000 kilometers, are notorious. If the anthers is not replaced in time, you need to be prepared for a premature replacement of the CV joint. Shock absorbers, under moderate loads, nurse 100–150,000 kilometers. Silent blocks of levers go up to 150,000 kilometers. The front upper arms, change assembly with silent blocks, fail every 170–100,000 kilometers. Repair of the rear suspension with careful operation is required no more than once every 120–150,000 kilometers. The steering rack is the most expensive part of a car's undercarriage. Unfortunately, this knot cannot be tightened, therefore, when the first steps appear in it, you need to prepare for its replacement or repair. The cost of the original part can be shocking to many, about $2,000 USD. Fortunately, this unit does not break often. The braking system in general is reliable, but on pre-styling versions, corrosion appeared on the brakes. Because of this, the calipers and their guides wedged. Despite the simple design, the Lexus IS interior is made of high-quality, wear-resistant materials. Thanks to this, even after 150,000 kilometers mileage, you are unlikely to find obvious traces of long-term operation of the car. The only place that can give out the age and mileage of the car is the gear knob, quickly overwritten. Also, jamming mechanisms of glove compartments can tell about the age of the car. Despite the abundance of electronic systems and various sensors, there are no complaints about their performance. If you are the owner of this car model, please describe the problems that you had to face during the operation of the car. Perhaps it is your review that will help readers of our site when choosing a car.